welcome to BrandsNow here on Radionow 95.3 FM Lagos. So what we do here on BrandsNow essentially is to spotlight the brands, the businesses and entrepreneurs who are doing amazing work in the world of business and entrepreneurship. My name is George Natural Onwara. Welcome to you once again. And of course, today we have a very special guest. Her name is Gladys Madueke, and she is the co-owner of Onng Textile and Wares Limited. Pleasure to have you join us this morning, Gladys.
Thank you, Mr. George. Thank you.
All right, so let's begin at the very beginning. Mhm.
All right.
Talk to us about the story. Why did you choose to go into Onng Textiles? And the name sounds really catchy, though. What's it about? What's the story behind your brand?
Okay. So, we had a contract to fulfill for one of the top FMCGs, multinationals, and we had to do we had to register business and do FIRS and the rest. And we're like, okay, you know what do we name this business right now? And then we said, because we're two co-founders, and so we're coming up with different names, even tried chat GPT names, and then we landed at Ticket, both the first two alphabets of both of our traditional names, because we're both Igbo people.
Oh, I see.
And so there is Onye and there is Ngozi. So it's Onng.
Interesting.
Yeah, even though people think it sounds like Onga, we should change it. Maybe when we're rebranding, we will try to change it. But for now, it is Onng Textiles and
I
Wares
think
Limited.
it sounds cool, though.
Thank you.
Interesting. So talk to us about the kind of textiles, the wares that you guys are into.
Okay, so we are an Afrocentric uniform brand. So we're trying to put African prints on the map, and we do it by using African print fabrics such as adire and batik to make uniforms for organizations. So we make classic uniforms, but we also make Afrocentric uniforms. We ask people to do Afrocentric uniforms because, first of all, it is more sustainable, because the process of making is handmade fabric, so the process is more sustainable, number one. And number two, when you use our African prints, you're helping local women in rural areas in Nigeria. You're providing them access to financial independence, which they wouldn't naturally have if they were not making these fabrics.
I'm curious as to why you chose to stay with African prints and fabrics. You could have easily gone for English or some other, but why African?
Okay, so we still make English uniforms, but if you look at the ecosystem right now, there is a lot of African prints coming to play in the fashion, even in luxury fashion, and like I said, sustainability is one of the major parts. First of all, you cannot make adire with fabrics like polyester, which is not good for the body. You have to use pure, breathable fabrics such as linen, such as cotton, which are more, how do I put it now? They're more sustainable, like I said, and it helps us ensure the fact that people are wearing healthy fabrics and not just wearing any kind of fabrics. And that's why we decided to stick to African prints, so that we ensure that people are wearing pure cotton or pure linen, and they are sustainable.
You just talked about how there's been a surge in a lot of people going back to, should I say, a rediscovery of our culture and whatnot here.
Yeah.
But a lot more people probably still prefer the imported things as well. How do you battle in this kind of space? How do you survive or thrive?
Okay. I honestly feel like the gap is closing in. We're not 1 year in business, but we have seen we've gotten different customers come to buy. We've done uniforms for, like I said, one of the major reasons why we even started was for an FCMG, one of the big bottling companies. Yeah, so we have seen people accept it more. Yes, there is that huge gap to close, but that gap is closing. I would say that gap is closing. Because you think, people would not wear it. People would rather you give them English wear. But that's not what the market is saying, because we've sold a lot, in less than 1 year. We're about 7 months in business, and we've made quite a lot of sales already.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Talk to us about some of your challenges that you face as an early co-founder in business and basically thriving in the Nigerian business space.
Okay. So I like to be grateful. I like to be grateful. It doesn't mean there are no challenges, but I do definitely like to be grateful.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the challenges that so I try not to. I'm happy to think of the challenges now because I try not to think of the challenges. One of the things I would say might be funding, because for some of these organizations, payment policies are not the most favorable. But we've been able to manage that from getting funds from family and friends when we have to fulfill order. We've gotten to the point where we now have a bit of money in the bank where if we need to make an order right now, we don't necessarily have to borrow as much as we would naturally do before when we just started. But so the challenges would be, I would say, funding, and access to market. But once you're able to hack both of that, which I'm grateful for, one of the ways I hacked access to market first of all was networking, ability to like go to events and speak to people, because it was in one of the events I went to that I met the MD of this bottling company, and then we have done multiple businesses with them. We've done multiple uniforms with them, and even my co-founder, from her networking with people too, we've done for other restaurants, and we've not just done here in Lagos. We've done in Lagos, in Abuja, in Asaba, in Oyo, to mention a few. So I feel like if you're able to network properly, your problem of access to market would reduce a bit. And if you're able to, like I said, the payment policy is a the payment policies for some of these companies is a major problem, especially for a small business owner. But if you're we've been able to hack it, so I'm grateful.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how you actually essentially make your brand stand out, especially given the fact that, look, we're in Lagos, we're in Nigeria, there's a lot of brands out there doing things as well. So how do you stand out?
I don't have a special trick for standing out right now. When you say stand out, because I'm a communicator, so I know from place of branding and all of that, but we don't necessarily have that right now, because like I said, we're not even up to a year. We're just like 7 months. We haven't done a proper logo or any of that. But one of the ways we've been able to stand out is when we make an outfit, we try to like follow up with what we've made an outfit for, the uniforms, to make sure that we give them quality, and we try not to drop down on quality. Yes, if we get there are places we know that we could have gotten the Adire cheaper, but we know it would wash. So rather than get it cheaper and have it wash, we'd rather not even get it cheaper at the first instance and leave it at the price that we can afford it. And those that are willing to buy can buy at that price. Those that are not willing to buy, when they are willing to buy, just so that whatever we're giving them, it would not wash off and turn.
So you're saying that you're essentially customer centric. You care about your customers and the quality that you get for them.
Yes, we are we're very customer centric, and we're very focused on quality. Quality over quantity. Honestly.
Some people will say quality means high price. Is that really the case in your business?
So I learned a pricing technique earlier on in the business, which has helped. So our price is not the most expensive, but we're not the cheapest. And that's because we're ensuring that our cost of production is covered while we're still being profitable, right? So we're in the middle. We're not too cheap, we're not too expensive, and we're still giving quality. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but for a lot of people who do business, one of the issues is, for me, sustainability. Do you have a plan as regards sustainability, maybe mentoring some younger people to be interested in the kind of business that you do, so
yes,
that they take on?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. One thing, because I'm a Christian, right? So at the beginning of the year, when in March, during the International Women's Day, I had seen a post from someone that I look up to a lot, and she had posted about having an identity for her business, and I had asked God, I need an identity for my business, and what God had told me, had called my business, was a lifeline. And I was like, lifeline. Then I remembered how it was a lifeline for my partner and for me. When I started this business, I had just left my current 9 to 5, and she was looking for something to make money from. And so when that happened, I said, yeah, this is actually a lifeline. And so what we want to do is extend that same lifeline to other people in their season of transmission. So they're transiting from one job, or they are in abusive relationships and they're looking for ways to make money, so that they don't have to rely on their abuser. So we intend to, by the third quarter, fourth quarter, start a program where we would train people, where they come in and get trainings to, learn to make adire, which would also be a win-win situation for us, because now we have more people making adire. Right now, every time we need adire, we have to go to rural Nigeria. If we had more people in the city making adire, it would still be helping them become financially independent, while also helping our business, so we don't have to travel too far every time we need to, because that also contributes to the cost of production, the shipping and everything. So, yeah.
Sounds really laudable. All right. But if somebody wants to actually key in or maybe buy from you, how do they get to reach out to you?
Okay, so we are on Instagram, and then we are also on WhatsApp at the moment. We don't have a website right now, but we're on Instagram and we're on WhatsApp. Our Instagram handle is at Onng Textiles and Wares.
Could you
and
please spell that?
At ONGTEXTILES Onng Textiles and Wares. And we are on WhatsApp +234 810 177 9346.
And once more.
+234 810 177 9346.
There's a young person listening to you right now. They're probably looking, well, perhaps I'd like to do a business in this regard. Some like what you're doing. What would be your advice to them on a final note?
My advice would be, do not be afraid to put your step forward. I tried doing Ankara in the past and I wasted time. That's how I'll put it. Don't waste time, because if I start counting from when I first attempted till this one I just started last year, the different. I tried during NYC in 2018, 2019, and it was like for a month and I stopped. Then and I started again in last year October, and the difference, I can imagine how much time I wasted and how much move I would have made if I stuck to it at the beginning. It won't seem easy at the beginning. You just need to stay consistent, because if you look at everybody that you are admiring, consistency is what has brought them to where they are. So stop admiring them and start working. That's what I'll say.
Interesting. That's an interesting way to live it, right? Stop
Yeah.
admiring and start working.
Yes.
Very big lesson. Well, I want to say thank you so much for your time, Gladys
you.
Madueke,
Thank you so much, George.
co-founder Onng Textiles and Wares Limited. Quote by Onng. Interesting. Anyways, absolutely. Well, that's all we have time for today on today's edition of Brands Now here on Radionow 95.3 FM Lagos. We'll see you again next week. My name is George Natural Onwara. Don't forget that if, of course, you are interested in actually coming on board and, of course, bringing your brands to Brands Now so people can see and patronize you, all you have to do is just send an email to marketing@thisisradionow.com. All right, and of course the subject of that email should be Brands Now, and somebody will reach out to you. I'll see you again next week. Stay here on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, because we go beyond the news.